Hi, hello, welcome back to this episode of the Undoing Podcast. My name is Jenny McKim and I am your host for today. I actually kind of hope you are not watching this on YouTube because my hair looks horrible and I just decided I needed to show up and my office is a mess and it's fine because here we are. This is real life, right? Today is Tuesday, April the 7th, and this episode is going to drop this Friday, April the 10th. I really went back and forth and debated about whether or not I wanted to release the second episode that Cynthia and I recorded, or if I just wanted to do a solo episode about my story. And I decided to do neither of those things, to be honest, planning on having my youngest daughter on here at some point when her schedule is available to talk about her story and how Cynthia helped her. But today I just have a lot on my mind and I'm just going to ramble. So thank you for being here. There's just a lot. There's a lot. And it seems like there's always a lot going on, right? There's all this stuff, whether you are Republican, Democrat, black, purple, green, yellow, red. I don't care. I love people and that's who I am. But there's always seems to be a lot going on. Whether you watch the news or you're like me and you're like, peace out news. I don't need you in my life because all you do is make me nervous and anxious and worried. And I really don't need that in my life. Or if you are just struggling with what's happening in your local area. We've had a lot of loss in this area, whether it be teachers or students or community members. There's just been a lot. And I just feel like it just keeps getting to be more and more and more. And so when you work with students every day and families, sometimes it's really hard on us because we're the ones as school counselors who have to be there for everybody. And I shouldn't say have to, I get to, right? This was put upon me. That's a whole nother story for another day. I'm not going to go into that today, but I totally felt God call me to go in this direction. And so I did. And it's not easy. It's very rewarding, but it is so not easy. It's made me a better parent and it's made me a better person. But there are some days when it's really stinking hard. And some days when maybe the day wasn't hard, but everything just seems to be too much because it just keeps piling and piling and piling and piling. And I think that's kind of where I am today. It's one of those days where I've just felt like I've had a lump in my throat and I've wanted to cry all day, actually for the past 2 days. Actually, I had a little bit of a cry this morning on the way to school. It's just, big feelings and big emotions and lots happening. And then something happens. Grief is like a wave. This is how I explain it to my kids at school, at my house. To you, grief is like a wave. If you've ever been to the ocean and you are standing like where the waves are barely crashing up against maybe your shins and you're just standing there and you're enjoying the breeze and the sun and it's like a good day. You're at the beach, right? And then all of a sudden a wave just comes and knocks you over out of nowhere. That's grief. And I equated that analogy to grief when I opened up some batteries. And you're like, batteries? Yeah, batteries. So my dad died 5 years ago. And I got to be there when he took his last breath. And that was hard, right? He was 87. He lived a good long life. But after we cleaned out his apartment and I ended up with some batteries of his that he had. And I put him in with our batteries. And then one day I needed some AA batteries. And I opened up the battery box and there they were. And I just started crying. There's my dad's batteries. What do you do with that, right? So it could be a song that you hear. It could be somebody sounds like somebody says something, you smell something, and it can just come and knock you over. So grief is like a wave. And then there are moments where you're like crying and laughing because you're like, oh my gosh, this is ridiculous. But your body needs to process all that. And a lot of times we just want to shove it all down and we want to get on these things and we just want to be like, we're going to numb ourselves out and not actually work through those feelings. And they just keep resurfacing in different ways. So I don't know why I got on this tangent, but apparently this is what I was supposed to talk about today. Cynthia and I had worked together to release some grief in me for sure. I feel like since I've been an educator, I've gone to a lot of funerals and several of those have been for students. And I hate that. nobody enjoys that. But that's part of the job, right? That's part of what we signed up for, to be there to help others. It's not always easy. So I'm going to remind you, whoever this is that is listening, to be kind to yourself and take care of yourself. And don't forget to love yourself. Self-care is not selfish. Resting is necessary. It's not lazy. And if you have someone in your life that always reaches out to you and checks in on you and sees how you're doing or plans things for you or does things for you, don't forget to check on them too. Because those are the people that do and go and go. And a lot of it is because they're so used to taking care of other people. And a lot of it is because they don't want to stop to feel the big feelings, because those suck. And sometimes a lot of it's just that's what they know. And so they keep going. But sometimes they really just want somebody to check on them. Yeah. Okay. I'm in 10 minutes. I think maybe I should just make this episode really short today. So I'm gonna end it with this. I saw this AI prompt, and it said, sorry, I have to go back and find it. I lost it. It said, okay, the AI prompt said, based on your personal experience talking to me, give me a character from a movie/series who is like me. Just their name. So I have used ChatGPT for a year. Speaking of, today I said was April 7th, 2026, 1 year ago today. I'm gonna link this in the podcast show notes. 1 year ago today was my whole debacle about trying to get home from Fort Lauderdale. That was a whole story in itself. I really feel like the enemy really did not want me on that trip for many reasons. And one of the many reasons is if I would have not gone on that trip, you and I wouldn't be talking to each other right now. And I never would have met Cynthia or all of the amazing ladies that I met there. So yeah. Anyhow. Okay. So I gave it to ChatGPT, been working with Chat for a year, and then I gave it to Claude. I've been working with Claude for few weeks now, maybe. So ChatGPT told me Ted Lasso. I'm not gonna lie, I have never seen that show. I've heard great things about it, but I've never seen Ted Lasso. So for those of you who don't know me, hello, my name is Jenny McKim. I am a school counselor in a middle school, and I am a mental performance coach for athletes outside of school. And so Ted Lasso is the main character from the show, obviously. Ted Lasso. On the surface, he's a super upbeat American football coach who randomly gets hired to coach a soccer team in England, despite not knowing much about soccer. Okay? Again, I've never seen the show. It says, here's why it feels like you. Number 1, you lead with belief in people, even when they don't believe in themselves. Number 2, you blend heart and strategy. Number 3, you create safe spaces where people can be human. Number 4, you carry big vision energy. Number 5, you use simple words to deliver deep truth. If Chat had to sum it up in one line, he coaches the person, not just the performance, and that's exactly what I do. I like that. Thought that was awesome. That is not who Claude gave me, by the way. Claude gave me Olivia Pope from the show Scandal. Again, I have no idea who that is. I've never seen this show. And I was like, hey, tell me more. But I don't know her, and so tell me why you chose her. And it says, Olivia Pope is the lead character in the show Scandal. She runs a crisis management firm in Washington, D.C. She's known as the fixer, some people call when everything is falling apart. Here is why she reminded Claude of me. She carries a lot. Olivia holds space for everyone around her while quietly managing her own enormous emotional weight. I thought that was funny. I mean, funny but not funny. She's brilliant at reading people and situations before others even see what's happening. She's a builder. She creates structure and systems out of chaos, leads with vision, and inspires fierce loyalty in her team. She operates from 2 words simultaneously. There's the polished worlds, not words. Apparently I can't read. There's the polished, high-performing professional version of her, and then the deeply feeling, spiritually attuned woman underneath who is navigating grief, identity, and what it means to live authentically. A huge part of her arc is realizing the environment she built her identity around no longer fits who she is growing into. She leads with both power and heart, and people underestimate how much she's carrying because she makes it look so clean on the outside. So I feel like that kind of talks about what we were talking about today, right? Like, gosh, this hair. Okay. Do not watch the YouTube version of this, but I needed to show up today. Actually, I have like a couple other things that I want to talk about, but I'm not going to put it in the show. Or maybe I should. Maybe I should just go and talk about it and then edit it and make it a couple of shows. Or maybe I should fix my hair and look way better. Guys, I've got a sty right here. Okay. Stress to the max. It's been wild. Okay, so I guess on that note, it's 15 minutes. I've rambled about really nothing except to be kind to yourself. And grief is like a freaking ocean wave, and sometimes it just comes and knocks you down out of nowhere. Be kind to yourself. Be kind to yourself. Be kind to others. You never know what they're going through. And give people the benefit of the doubt. People are doing the best they can with what they have. Try to remember that line. I think it was Brene Brown. She wrote that in a book. I think that was where I heard that first. People are doing the best they can with what they have, including you. You've never been this person at this moment in time before, so be kind to yourself. All right, on that note, thank you for joining me for this episode of the Undoing Podcast. I do hope you will join us again in 2 weeks. And if you have not yet followed us on all the socials, please do so if you would like to be a guest. I would love to have you because, again, I'm still trying to figure out what this looks like without my dear friend and partner, Cynthia. So reach out to me. I would love to have you on the podcast. I actually have a guest coming on this Saturday. We're going to schedule an episode, so hopefully that'll be out in a few weeks for you. All right. On that note, ta-ta, toodaloo for now. I love your face. That's right. Peace out, Pub Scout.